Honestly, I mean, running back room, I think you have more of an argument to that
Absolutely,
running back room
absolutely.
versus, receiver. Because I think, I still, once again, looking at Ohio State, I think Travion Henderson right today probably has the argument as the best running back in the Big Ten. And I would say, who knows? But by the end of the season, it could be one of the two guys in Michigan's backfield with Corum and Edwards, because I do think those guys are supremely talented and special. I mean, we were talking about Blake Corum after the first 2 or 3 weeks of potential Heisman candidate, and was serious about it. He ended up. Had got injured a little bit later on in the season, and had less touches, but no, I think they have the talent to potentially say that they are the could be the best running back in the Big Ten. But I would argue that would be the better argument, that Michigan has a deeper running back room than they do a wide receiver room.
So Dre, we are being proven again by the chat, or at least this particular individual in the chat, that you, who I know to be, since we've known each other and worked on this show for almost 50 weeks, almost a year, and you guys have done all the post game and everything else, that you are diehard Michigan man, maize and blue, love Michigan, want nothing more than them to win every game. But you are not allowed to be objective.
No, you look, man. You can't make everybody happy. And I've said this, and I'll be consistent with this. I don't know why my filter's doing this. Sorry, guys, from background. I am not the type of person that just because I love my school, it's my team, that I'm just going, go team, go. Everything is awesome. No, I mean, look. I call it how I see it. That doesn't mean I'm happy to say it. If I had it my way, I'll say Ohio State sucks at everything. But I know that's not the case. I know what my eyes tell me. I know that when my eyes tells me about my own school. I know that we historically lately have sucked. Yes, I say sucked with developing wide receivers. Yes, look it up. Look at the NFL draft the last 20 years. How many Michigan receivers do you see in the first 2 rounds? Don't worry, I'll wait. So, miss me with that, man. What you want me to do? Lie? Yeah, you know what? We got the best. Desmond Howard's a genius. We have the deepest receiver room in the nation. Like our guys. What that is saying, that our guys can go play anywhere. Okay. Now, if you want to talk about Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, now those kids can go play anywhere for the most part. I can guarantee you that. Now, but my God, man, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you go take a nap too, Florida. I don't know what you want from me, man. I mean, I don't know what I said that sounded like I was down in Michigan. Besides just being honest, you can't take it, then that maybe you need to go watch, a Michigan highlight reel on loop to make yourself feel better, because I'm not here for that. I'm here to, speak what I see as the truth, and that's it.
And this is an interesting comment because, goodness, did we get to? Well, nonetheless, I always thought Donovan Peoples-Jones, when he committed to Michigan, seeing his the spark or whatever, the dude timed a 4.4 or something like that, electronic time 40, which, if you're familiar, when somebody is hand timing, it's very easy. I mean, literally 0.2 of a second is a big deal, but it's easy for a kid to time a 4.4, 4.5 when it's hand time, because it's very up to your coach to hit the button on time. But when you talk about electronic timing, that is legit. That's legit. And for DPJ, his production at Michigan, and some people were talking about just development of the receivers. I mean, DPJ had, I would say his biggest moment as a Michigan player was probably the Michigan State punt return. I mean, he just, I'm not sure if he had any 100-yard receiving games. I don't know how this got to, now all of a sudden we are having to talk about this and kind of semi-bash guys, but I mean, DPJ did not have. He didn't even have 1,000 career receiving yards in his career, and some guys are doing that in a season. A lot of guys do that in a season.
Yeah, for one, I'm sorry, Dad. I mean, for one, I think there was 7-7. He broke a 7-7 tie at Michigan State. It was I think it was basically a go route. You know, he broke it 14-7. He did that whole little like hanging his head to the side after he got.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I thought that was a punt return. You're right. That was a catch.
It was a go route. So for one, I need to address these things. Look, you guys are always negative. Thank you. So Rob J, because he just hates when I do this. These two probably have Sparty beating us too. Okay, look, man, I'm gonna say this one about Michigan State because Rob J, he does this every week, dude. I think you're a dude. If you're not, I apologize. Why would you agree that Michigan was the more talented team the last 2 years versus Michigan State? I do. We were better than them talent-wise 2021. We were better than them 2020. What happened? We lost. But the penalties, but the rest, but the fumbles, whatever. We lost. And we were the better team. Mel Tucker is 2-0 versus us. All the other stuff be damned. So how can you go into any game? Well, we're better on paper. Once again, think about what I just said beforehand regarding the last 2 years. How can you go into any game versus MSU going forward and you're like, oh, we're going to win? Based on what? You can't go based on talent because it's clear that doesn't matter. That has not mattered, in this rivalry. So, no, I'm not going to say that, oh, yeah, we're going to kill State this year. I don't know. I want to beat Sparty. I think that we're a better team than Sparty. But if you think that I'm going to keep banging my head against the wall and acting like the last couple of years haven't happened, then I don't know what you expect. Take my advice on this. Take what your team gives you. Don't depend on hope, maybes, and wishes, right? Or fantasy. Go by what the team gives you. And that's it. And part of that is hard to accept. It hurts. That hurt. Look, as great as last year was, it will always stick with me that we lost last year to Sparty. That was a stain in a magical season. We lost to a lesser team. And at the time, it looked like it derailed our chances of winning the Big Ten. But due to some help from others and also a great bounce back by the team, they was able to complete their goal of winning the Big Ten. But I just don't understand. Like, I mean, how can you explain to me after the last couple of years how you can just go into any game versus Michigan State? You're like, yeah, we're going to win. Based on what? I don't know. We're going to win. Please. I don't see how that's being negative if it's based on what's actually happened. Okay? That's helped me. Am I being wrong?
No, well, I think there are, when it comes to, especially, channels that are dedicated to one sports team, I think there's a certain group of people who would like to see only positive things talked about their team because they come to that channel. So I can understand that aspect of it. But I think we've been very clear from the first time we have been on the channel that we are going to be fair and call things the way we see them and give our opinions on it. So sometimes that is going to be a message that is not, pro Michigan, is not, everything is just kind of rosy. I mean, because this is college football. Like, this is extremely competitive. There's only about 16 teams roughly that really truly have a shot to win it all. And I think Michigan is in that group, but I don't think Michigan's number one in that group or number two. So in order to get to, the top half or the top four of that group to where you really have a shot to win it, there's some improvements that need to be made. And I think Michigan's on the right track. But nonetheless, it doesn't mean as if they're just ready to just roll the footballs out and go win the Big Ten and win a national championship.
Florida, thank you. We were 12-1, bruh. Yes, we realized what the record was. But when
truth be told, but Dre, I'll let you go here in a second. But truth be told, when we started this podcast, I wanted to be super positive on Michigan, and these two voted me down. That's what actually happened.
Yeah, we actually but it wasn't that. You know what? That and look, Des and I, the way that we talk about Michigan, we do the same thing on any sports topic, right? You know, here we talk Michigan football. We're both Detroit Lions fans. We're the same way with the Lions. We're the same way we talk about the NBA, whatever. We you know, the way that we approach. Now, I shouldn't speak for you, Des, but you know, the way that I approach talking about sports, analyzing sports, is it's about winning at the highest level, right? And so week by week, when I'm looking at my team, no matter how things are going, I'm enjoying the ride, but I'm also seeing, okay, where are we? What are the things that are helping get us to what we want to get to? And what are the things that are potentially holding us back, right? And so last year, people always want to talk about, well, you guys were so negative last year. We were 12-1. No, if you go back and actually listen and watch us, what we were saying is, look, this formula that we have shown week to week that we have won with, which was essentially ball control and offense, playing mistake-free football, right? And essentially, handling your business. It's going to work against the teams that were better than by a pretty wide margin. But when we play teams that are close, comparable in talent, or maybe even a little better, eventually it's going to catch up to us. You saw it at MSU. Now, when I say comparable talent, that doesn't mean that they're just as good. They're not, terribly worse than where we are. And you saw what happened. A couple missed calls, right? A couple of mistakes, self-inflicted mistakes by Michigan turned the tide in that game. And Michigan lost to a lesser team, right? Yeah. So that's what it's about, guys. It's about, as we're on this journey, what are the good things and what are the pitfalls that keep us from getting to where we want to get to? If you can't understand this, where I'm coming from, I don't know how else I can say it differently. But I do love this team, and because I do love them, I'm tough on them. I give them tough love, baby. That's what it's about. And I'm also fair and honest about my contemporaries. I hate Ohio State. I hate their guts. My father-in-law is an Ohio State fan. Love them. But I hate but I give them credit where credit's due. That's it.
Yeah, we had a conversation about your father-in-law. That was interesting, but about your perception of him. How about that? We don't need to get into it because it's a very long, drawn-out conversation. But yeah, I mean, the way that we look at Michigan and analyze them is, and I think you verbatim said this, is we are analyzing them and talking about them as if they are going to win a national championship this year. So in order to do that, what improvements need to be made? Because you can look at even the elite teams, they all have flaws. Everybody has flaws, but how big are they? And are you doing yourself, enough favors to where, you're putting yourself in a really good spot, in a good light? Improve on the things that you can improve on, and for the things that you maybe need some work, work on those. I think that was our big gripe about the out of conference was, we've got these games that Michigan is for sure going to win. Throw the ball, because we have no idea what this passing offense looks like, and in order to get where they want to be, you're gonna have to throw the ball. And we were wrong and right, because Michigan got where they wanted to be. They beat Ohio State, won the Big Ten championships, and made it to the playoff. So we were wrong in that aspect. They got to exactly where they wanted to be, and we were right in some aspect, because when they matched up against Georgia, they needed to throw the ball effectively and didn't do that. Now, can they? I still think, yeah, but that's the way it is. I mean, if 9-3 or 8-4 is okay with you, then fine. Then we'll just sit up here and just rah all day. But that's not what we expect, and I'm pretty sure that's not what you guys expect either. You were hoping for undefeated season, winning the Big Ten, going to the playoff, and compete for a national championship. So if that's the case, then that's how we're going to analyze it. So
I just people like, he's probably trolling, but the reason why I'm going at him is because I do think some people think like this. It's like, no, because like negativity, right? Like about me saying stuff like, or the receiving room for nobody from Michigan can go play at at Ohio State or Alabama or something like that. You know, a lot of that is just it's not really personal against the kids we have, but it's about, for one, why does it seem that when we do have receivers that do go to NFL, they tend to get better more times than not, right? Or they show a little bit more on the NFL level than they on the college level. Wow, I didn't know he was capable of doing X, Y, and Z. It's because the track record. So if you're asking me to compare essentially our receiver track record to Ohio State's or Alabama's, yeah, how can I objectively go with Michigan? That makes no sense. That's not how I want it to be, but that's how it is. So that's just like that's how I am. I mean, I can enjoy the ride as a fan week to week, but at the same time, like when I take a step back and I remove myself from the moment of the game, of the season, I try to look at the big picture. Then when you're looking at the big picture, there's no way that you just see the positive. You're going to see the negative as well, or the pitfalls. And so when we come on here, it's our job to talk about those things, to give you legitimate, objective feedback. And I know that's hard to hear, guys, at times when you're feeling good about yourself and you're like, man, come on, let's talk about how great this is. But at the end of the day, if you can just take solace in this, that we all want the same thing, then that's what matters. But it doesn't. But we appreciate you, love you anyway. So it's all good.